One thing that has always been really important to me is having preparedness supplies in my vehicle. For those of you that have been following me for a while, you know that what got me into preparedness or what made me take this more seriously was being stranded in my car about 5 miles away from home in a rural area and having to hoof it in a really bad snowstorm. Lisa was already into preparedness, and this is what sort of turned that light bulb on in my head. We spend a lot of time in our vehicles on a daily basis. The average American spends about an hour a day in their car driving from place to place. This could be dropping the kids off at school, could be going to work, could be going shopping or going to the grocery store. We spend a lot of times in our car, so it only makes sense to have some of these supplies because we don't get to pick when disaster strikes. This means we not only need to be ready in case something happens to us in our vehicle while we're driving, but we also need to be prepared to get back to home base if something larger happens and our vehicles become disabled. And this means having the right supplies tucked away in the back seat or the trunk just in case they become necessary. Today, that's what I want to talk about is some of the supplies that we should be keeping in our vehicles in case of an emergency or disaster. From the very simple everyday items like spare tires and a jack to the more prepper or preparedness related items that a lot of people don't even think about. And with that, we'll just start right there with the vehicle essentials. And speaking of things that a lot of people forget about, the spare tire and specifically the jack to jack your car up and change that tire. A lot of cars, especially used cars, are missing that jack for some reason. I've bought, 3 or 4 or 5 cars for my kids, and every single one of them was missing the jack. I had to buy another one. You also need to make sure that you've got the lug wrench in there. This is one of the easiest and simple things that a lot of people take for granted and don't even check on. You also want to make sure you have jumper cables or a jump starter pack. The ones that they make these days are really nice, although you can't go wrong with a pair of cables, and maybe you want to even have both of those in there. But a pair of jumper cables, the old tried and true, is always good to have, and they're relatively inexpensive. But these jump starter packs, some of them also serve as a tire inflator, which is really nice. And everyone should have, at the very least, the plugs or the fix-a-flat in their cars, just in case you do get a flat tire. And make sure you have that tire inflator, although fix-a-flat will increase the pressure in your tire a little bit so you can drive it. You're not going to be driving on the rim. But if you have one of these tire inflators, that would help out a lot as well. So if you got the plug kit, you plug a hole, and then you've got the inflator, you'd be good to go if you are in a bug out or get home type situation. You should also have tow straps and maybe even some tie downs in your car. I've got a bunch of different tie downs and they come in handy for a number of different situations. They are not as strong as a tow strap and are not going to work for, pulling somebody out of a snowdrift or anything like that. So I would have these stronger tow straps as well. Those could be helpful if somebody comes along and they're trying to pull you out, or if you've got a truck or a larger vehicle, you can help pull somebody else out. So a tow strap is one of those things I think everyone should have in their vehicle. Along with that, make sure you have at least the bare minimum when it comes to tools. We're talking about your basic socket set, screwdrivers, pliers, adjustable wrenches. Even if you're not all that great at working on a car, these still might come in handy for some of the minor repairs. And on the off chance that somebody comes along that knows how to work on vehicles and don't have the tools with them, that would come in handy as well, although I wouldn't depend on that. Most people that know how to work on cars have those tools in their cars with them. I've got a bin from Walmart that is dedicated just to the different tools, and I've got the socket set as well. And the good thing about these is even if you don't need them because your car breaks down, you always know where they are. So I can go to my truck, I know where my socket set is, I can use that and then put it back in my truck. And then you've got safety supplies as well, and this is safety and visibility. You need flashlights, at least one flashlight, headlamps. All of those are important. You've got to have spare batteries in there, maybe even a hand crank light, a flashlight or a hand crank radio, something like that. just in case these spare batteries are dead. And if you are storing these in your vehicle, make sure you don't store the batteries inside the flashlights, because after a year or so, especially if they are alkaline batteries, they're going to destroy the flashlight itself. But flashlights are good. Headlamps are great for hands-free repairs, so make sure you have both of those. You've also got road flares, and these days they don't necessarily have to be the flares, although they are nice. They've also got lights that serve the same type of purpose. We've got some compact little round puck-sized lights that, as long as you keep them charged up, you can throw those on the side of the road and people will be able to see, and make sure you don't get, ran over while you're trying to work on your vehicle. And when it comes to safety, a lot of people don't have fire extinguishers in their car. And honestly, they aren't 100% needed, but they are good to have. They make a few different kinds of fire extinguishers. The kiddie fire extinguishers are the best. And they've also got some lower cost ones that are going to do the job if something smaller happens. If you get a large engine fire, the smaller ones aren't going to do as well as the kiddie fire extinguishers. But again, these are situations that are far and few between. But just like everything in preparedness, you never know. Next, we'll move on to the survival essentials now that we've got the basics figured out. And this is where it starts to get more into the preparedness category. But a lot of these are really important because you never know whether you're in an urban setting or you're in a rural setting and you're away from everything. These things could become really important if you're stuck on a highway or if you're in the middle of nowhere. The first one is water, and this one is a little bit tough depending on your climate. If you are somewhere where it doesn't get too cold, you'll probably be all right. But here in Colorado, having bottled water and things like that becomes a little bit trickier in the wintertime. You would want containers that you fill up halfway. That way, when they do freeze, they're not going to explode and then thaw out and make a huge mess. You could also put them inside like igloo coolers, which will take longer. It won't stop them from freezing, but it'll take a lot longer for these bottled waters and gallons of water that are half filled to freeze. So if it's not super cold, they may not freeze at all. And if it is super cold, they're going to freeze no matter what you do. And then you've got the food. And again, just like water, and this is sort of the opposite end of the spectrum. The hotter it gets in your car, the more this food is going to spoil. But you want to think about non-perishable foods like energy bars. Some of the bars with a lot of fats or chocolate, things like that are gonna, they're not gonna last very long in your vehicle if it gets hot. So you'd want to think about like Daytrex rations and lifeboat rations, things like that would be that quick little bit of energy to get you from point A to point B. So you do have to hoof it home like me for, it's going to take you about 5 or 6 hours to get there. That's just a little snack. It's not something you absolutely have to have, but it is something that'll make you feel better along the way, and maybe even just, some food to keep your mind off of things. Also, the food in your car, it doesn't need to be a disaster or an emergency. Having a little bit of food in your car would come in handy all the time. Grab a snack here and there. You're waiting on the highway. Just make sure you replace that food if you eat it while you're stuck in a traffic jam or something like that. But have these foods that are non-perishable. They're not going to spoil. Even some of the Mountain House foods and possibly MREs as well could be foods you could keep in your car. But again, you've got to watch those temperature swings. And then again, depending on the time of year, and even some places, after dark, it can be 70, 80 degrees during the day. And then after dark, it gets really cold. So you'd want to have blankets, maybe even a sleeping bag, emergency bivvies, the solar blankets, and things like that to keep you warm. Maybe even a couple tea light candles in your car. It's not going to raise the temperature in the cab of your car a lot, but it could raise it just a little bit and also give you a little bit of light. You've also got different types of clothing. Here in Colorado, we have to switch out my springtime kit for the summer months and then my fall kit for the winter months and when it gets really cold. So that means hats and gloves and other things to keep you warm. Lisa's got a bin that she's got separately all the different clothing items that she would need in the wintertime. You also need to think about warm wool socks and the shoes to go along with those, whether that's hiking boots or running shoes, anything like that. Because if you work downtown or you work in an office, the odds are you're wearing dress shoes. And if you have to hoof it home, you're going to want those hiking boots that are going to do the job and keep your feet comfortable walking mile after mile. So if you do have a job where you're wearing high heels or dress shoes, make sure you have those in your car, and nice warm wool socks as well. Something else to think about with weather-specific gear are things like ice scrapers, even folding shovels. These are nice and compact, and if you're stuck in a snowdrift, they'll help you get out. You got rain ponchos they're nice and light. They store easy, so you may as well put one in your trunk. And then in the summer months, maybe you would want to focus more on making sure you have water and things to keep you cool in a situation, maybe even a little battery-powered fan in your car. And you've also got first aid, which honestly is one of the most important ones because you never really know what could happen or what you could even roll up on as you're driving. And in your car, there's a far bigger probability of something happening than if you're sitting at home watching TV on your couch, right? So having a first aid kit in your car is just as, if not more important than having one in your home. And the type of supplies you'd have in a first aid kit in your car goes beyond just the regular Band-Aids and things like that. I recently did a review on this survival first aid kit, and I saw this and bought it because to me, it looks like the perfect little car kit. And I took some of these supplies out and kept the other ones and added a couple as well. And you can watch that video here. But whether you use a pre-made kit like this one or you put together a custom kit, it really is important to have these first aid supplies that are a little bit beyond the basics. So you're talking not just the bandages and the antiseptics, you're talking about gauze, you're talking maybe about the battle dressings and the pressure dressings and things like that, pain relievers, scissors, tweezers, emergency blankets, some of the trauma supplies, because we may be in an accident ourselves or we may run across somebody that's in an accident. And if we can offer a little bit of help, that could be the difference between life and death. And speaking of you just never know, there are a lot of other things I keep in my car as well for convenience and comfort and things like that. You've got multi-tools that would be good, or a fixed blade knife, a Swiss Army knife would be good. You've got duct tape and zip ties, a lot of different types of tape, zip ties, cordage, things like that are always, you just never know when you're going to need those. You've got portable phone chargers, these little power banks. I've got a little kit set up with my portable power bank and a bunch of different cords that I might need for a little portable power station, my jump starter, my tire inflator, these small power banks. So I've got cords for all of those in this small little pack. Speaking of the power stations, a small little portable power station like this Juice Go that I keep in my car are really nice to have. And yes, you've got the cigarette lighter ports and the USB ports on your car. But if your engine isn't working, if your battery has died, having this little portable power station would be great, because if your battery is dead and that jump starter is dead, this little power station would give you the ability to charge that back up and use it. Also, you'd want to have a little everyday carry kit with some cash in small bills and coins, or at the very least in your wallet. But I have an everyday carry kit in my car where I have some of this cash. I've got a pen, a notepad. I've got a number of different things in this small everyday carry kit that is put together, and it's one of those just in case. You've got those little things in there, and a why not put it, in the back seat of your car. I've got mine in one of these bins. You could put it in the middle console. Basically, one of these little kits would fit anywhere. And as I've mentioned a couple times, I love kits, but you can put these things, the first aid kit, the everyday carry kit. You can also organize these supplies in bins. I've got 3 bins that I got from Walmart that I keep in the back of my truck. One is for tools, one is for medical and food, and the other one's sort of a miscellaneous type thing. Lisa's got a few of these bins in her car, and she keeps them organized in her car differently than I do in my truck. Whatever way you do it, it is good to keep them organized and know exactly where everything is when you need it. And for me, these Walmart totes, the lower profile totes, work great. And the middle console of your car would also work great. But just make sure, have a plan of where you're going to put everything. That way it's just not a cluttered mess and you're scratching your head going, I think I have something like that in here. One more thing as well, and maybe one of the most important things, is always have your bug out bag, your get home bag, your go bag, whatever it is, always have that in your car when you're driving around. This is a tough one because you don't really want to just keep it in your car, not because of how things might spoil with the fluctuating temperatures, but if somebody walks by your car, I've heard horror stories where the window has been busted out and a bug out bag that may have $500-600 worth of supplies in it gets stolen. So you don't necessarily want to keep it in your car all the time, but you do want to have it with you, especially something like a get home bag that you could maybe take up to your office with you or where you work, or maybe even just throw it in your trunk while you're at work or wherever you're going. But it is really important to have these in your car. My bug out bag serves as my get home bag and my go bag all in one. And it always goes in the back seat of my truck wherever I'm going. Now, there are times that I take it out if I am going to an airport or things like that. I really think about this, and unfortunately, that's just what you have to do, and it makes me really uncomfortable when I have to leave that behind. But there are situations where you don't want to get that stolen or your car damaged, so you'd have to think about that. But the get home bag, the go bag, or some sort of backpack, even the small little backpacks that are portable little pocket-sized backpacks that you can open up. They aren't that sturdy, but they would work great in a situation where you need to throw some supplies in it. Say you have your get home bag, but you're driving with somebody and they don't. You could throw some of the supplies that you have in your car kit in those, and you guys can hoof it on and have two people carry things rather than you carrying everything. So I'm curious, what sort of supplies? Do you have a pretty extensive kit in your car, or you just have the basics? I know a lot of people are different. I tend to go a little bit overboard on this. Like I said, this is one of those things that really concerns me. And in 15 years, I've never again been in that situation yet anyway, but my truck is ready if I ever do get in that situation. With that, I am done here today. Make sure and watch that video about the first aid kit. A really cool first aid kit. It's a $40 first aid kit and put together really well. I'm not a huge fan of pre-made kits, but this one is pretty nice. And if you take a few pieces out, add a few pieces in, really cool kit for that $40 range. It's a really cool deal. But with that, I am done here today. Take care and prepare, everyone, and we will talk to you all later.